Dave Palumbo here, and I want to talk a little bit about the latest Kevin Levrone photos that I put up yesterday. That was, I guess, September 1st. I put up a back double bicep pose that Kevin sent me that morning. Matter of fact, I was in the hospital still. I was about to go into the hyperbaric chamber for my toe that I almost cut off for healing purposes. And I know, Tony Freeman, if you're watching this, I know you're jealous that I got to use the hyperbaric chamber. Yes, it was a real hyperbaric chamber. High oxygen, high pressure, and lots of healing and regeneration. I think I've gotten back 10 years of my life, actually. But getting back to the picture, right before I went in, Kevin Levrone sent me this picture. He goes, "Bro, how does this look?" And I'm like, "Pretty shredded." He's like, "It's all yours, baby. Put it up." And, that's how Kevin talks. And I said, "Okay, you sure?" He's like, "Yes." I put it up. And when I got out of the hyperbaric chamber 2 hours later, already, Kevin called me up again. He's like, "Oh, people are bashing me. They're saying that I look too small, whatever." He's like, they think that they're old pictures. And I said, "Kevin, who cares what people think? Who gives a crap? You're depleted 2 weeks out from the Olympia. You're supposed to be flat." I said, "Matter of fact, you do look very depleted." And I advised him to go eat a cheat meal. I said, "Go to McDonald's, have a couple burgers and fries." I said, "I know you probably haven't done it in weeks." He says, "I haven't cheated in 8 weeks," because Kevin is militant when he's dieting for a show. So I said, "Kevin, you got to have a couple cheat meals here and there, because otherwise what happens is your body's going to eat itself up. Your metabolism's too fast." Later that day, he put up another picture. It was a front double bicep pose in a tank top. You can see it up on screen. And I shot him a text message. I said, "Kev, when's that picture from?" He goes, "After the cheat meal, baby." So it worked, obviously. He was very depleted. And what I find it interesting is that all these people who think that they're freaking bodybuilding fucking wizards out there are putting together all these theories like this. The pictures were old. Sean Ray is saying that I'm butthurt because Bleckman threw money at Levrone, and his interview we were supposed to have a couple weeks ago were canceled, so that I put up old pictures of Kevin to sabotage him, which is the stupidest thing, because Kevin and I talk every freaking day, Sean. And Sean, the truth of the matter is that you're no one's friend. I know you admit that you're no one's friend, but Kevin thought he was your friend. And after you sent him those text messages with pictures of Heath and Dexter and said, "Game over, baby, you might as well not compete," I think Kevin realized that you're really not his friend. Kevin was upset about that you did that to him, and that you're so negative about the whole situation. And I told Kevin, I said, "Kevin, don't let people get into your head. You know you're good. You know what you're bringing to the stage. We got to keep you balanced." I said, "You got to throw a cheat meal in every couple of days now, because your metabolism is cranking. You got to stay full, because you don't really have any body fat to lose anymore." And I know Kevin, 2 weeks is like 6 months for a normal bodybuilder. He will put size on over the next 2 weeks going into that Olympia. I promise you that. He just needs to keep his head out of the social media at this point. He should stay focused. Only let people who have his best interest at heart, like myself and some of the guys that surround him and his training partners, only let those people see and give advice to him, because there's a lot of jealous people who don't want to see a 52-year-old Kevin Levrone come back to the Olympia and make a huge impact, because what it does is it basically says that the careers of the guys who were contemporaries of his are not as good, or were not genetically as good, or don't have as much muscle or capability to put muscle on as quickly as Kevin. Kevin's physique looks like that of a 28-year-old. No one's going to deny that. He doesn't have a wrinkle of skin anywhere on him. He looks great. He's going to make a huge impact. I'm sticking with my decision and my prediction that he's going to win. I don't care if no one believes me. I don't care if anyone thinks I'm crazy. That's my decision. I already put it in. I think Kevin has the capability. Jerry Ward, who we had on the show, we had the iron on iron debate, I think it was maybe a month ago. He said he talked to Kevin Levrone on the phone. He claims to be a friend of Kevin Levrone's, and he might be. And Kevin told him that the pictures were old. Well, Kevin probably told you that, Jerry, because people were bashing him so much. He knew you'd put it out there. The truth is that Kevin and I speak regularly. I'm not putting the text messages up on screen. I could very well, and it would verify everything that I'm saying. But out of respect for Kevin and privacy, I won't do that. But I can promise you, I'm telling you the truth. As we say here at RxMuscle, the truth hurts. And that's the truth. And I don't think that those pictures depict anything like we're going to see up on stage for Kevin Levrone. I've seen guys depleted at a week out, 2 weeks out from shows that look like they couldn't win the Mr. Long Island. And then they get up on stage all carved up and tanned up, and they freaking dominate. Levrone will look unreal at that Olympia. I promise you. He is at his best. I have not seen the legs yet, I will tell you that much, but he assures me that they're there. And you know what? At 249 pounds, they're absolutely there, because that's Kevin's contest weight back in the day. Kevin didn't compete at 260. He competed in the 240s. And he's got all his size back and more. His waist is 2 inches smaller. And you're going to see a tremendous Kevin Levrone up on stage. Ignore the Sean Rays. Ignore the people who are the internet, I call them YouTubers, because no one really knows what's going on except Kevin Levrone himself. I can only give you the information that's being passed on to me. Kevin and I have a respectful relationship. I call it a friendship. I think Kevin would call it a friendship too. He's not going to give me phony, fake pictures. It is what it is out there. Guys believe what they want to believe, but Kevin Levrone will impress. You saw that picture Johnny just had up on the screen after his cheat meal. He's going to look like that plus more. You got my word for it. And remember, if you want to know what the truth is, contact me directly, okay? Because I'll tell you what the truth is, and I'm sure Kevin will. But you know what? Kevin, if you're listening to this, stay out of social media the next 2 weeks. Let people worry about what you look like. Don't even give them a hint anymore. While I'd love to have exclusive pictures of you to put up there, I say let's go to blackout right now. Wait till the Olympia. Let them ask you questions at the press conference, and then at prejudging, they'll see what you're bringing, baby. Dave Palumbo with my rant.